All right, it's been a great evening so far. Wouldn't you agree? At this time, we would like the family and friends of the awardees to stand so we can applaud you for the personal sacrifices you have made to contribute to the success of these young men. And now it's time for the moment that we have all been waiting for, the trophy presentation. Now here to present the award is the chairman of the award selection committee, Dr. Alexander Gabin.
Many of you are aware, of course, that just as it was true in prior years, this is the week, a few days ago, 5 days ago on March 6th, that basically is the date that in 1857, you got the Dred Scott decision was rendered. And a 7-2 vote with Chief Justice Taney, a Baltimorean like me, a professed Catholic, rendered the decision and wrote the words that you can't help but remember when he said in his decision denying Dred Scott the right to be free, that a black man has no rights, which a white man was bound to respect. Emphasize the verbiage, bound to respect. Doesn't mean he won't respect you. Just means that there's no requirement to do so. Exactly 1 year later, on March the 4th, 1858, right in this city, James H. Hammond, senator, South Carolina, entered in the congressional record an argument dealing with whether or not Kansas should be admitted to the state, admitted to the Union as a state. And in his comments, he wrote these words, and of course I'm quoting from the transcript. In all social systems, there must be a class to do the menial duties, to perform the drudgery of life. That is, a class requiring but a low order of intellect and but little skill. Its requisites are vigor, docility, fidelity. Such a class you must have, or you would not have that other class which leads progress, civilization, and refinement. It constitutes the very mud seal of society and of political government. And you might as well attempt to build a house in the air as to build either the one or the other except on this mud seal. Fortunately for the South, she found a race adapted to that purpose to her hand, a race inferior to her own, but eminently qualified in temper, in vigor, in docility, in capacity to stand the climate, to answer all of her purposes. We use them for our purpose and call them slaves. The senator from New York said yesterday that the whole world had abolished slavery. And this is the part of that sentence I want you to hear. I, the name, but not the thing. I, the name, but not the thing. It was true in 1858, and it's true now for black male children in this country. Yes, no question about it. Lots of black men and women have succeeded and done well. No question about it. But for most young black males, for most, the system is and has been and continues to be rigged against them. Part of the problem, you see it with unemployment, can't get the jobs. You see it with incarceration. For some reason, always more black folks going into jail. You see it with high school dropouts. You see it with the fact that there's drug use among them. Only someone who absolutely wants to believe in the inferiority of black men would ever believe that's totally by accident and, hey, that's just the way it is. No, that's not just the way it is. This is systematic indoctrination that is designed to go ahead on and give young black men the impression that yes, falling out of school, getting into drugs, being unemployed, that's the norm for you, your people. And it takes the exceptional individual somehow to overcome that. And why is that system that way? What you've got here is a situation where you've got press that will very quickly promote, advertise the negativity among black men in this nation. But you are not going to have them up in here looking at what's going on with the kind of black men you got in this room. You're not going to have them there. Does not fit into the program at all. And so what you've got is an image that is being created and perpetuated to young black boys, whereas that is to be expected, the negative. But you do not have that image being perpetuated that deals with the positive. That's why you are here now. And that's why what Watkins is doing has its power. Because the one thing it's doing is identifying young black males who made other decisions. And so what is it that we want to do tonight? Why am I inviting here? Why do you have all these good-looking people sitting up in black ties and gowns doing it? Because these young black men have been making the right decisions. We want to encourage them. And then we want to talk about what you're going to do later. Continue to make the same kinds of decisions so that the image that is being formed is a different kind of narrative. The biggest thing Watkins is doing, the biggest thing Watkins has done, is dealt with a narrative that the rest of the population doesn't want to deal with because it is the name that is changed, not the thing. And so you still are building off of the backs of those young black kids by promoting an image of them that they buy into early, and they don't even want to think they can do anything better than that because they don't see anybody doing anything better than that that looks like them, because the only thing we want to show them is stuff they can make money off of, rather than the thing that you need in order to be able to do well and survive in this society. Why do you have to be exceptional for you to be a black man and get ahead? Why do you have to overcome odds all the time? Why can't it just be a fair doggone game where everybody can go ahead on and get a job and everybody can go ahead and go to school? But we don't show that. So here's the task. Here's the deal. There are two things I'm going to ask of you. Two things. The first thing, and we're going to bring the guys up. We're going to bring them up. But there are two things I want to ask of you. First thing, when you go back home, you take a look at every young black male you see and you tell them what you saw here. You go ahead and tell them what you saw standing here. You tell them what you met. You tell them what you saw with your own eyes with regard to the type of men we've got. And here's the second thing. Next year, bring one of them with you so that they can go ahead on and come up here and see for themselves. And so now I want to give you the visual of what Watkins means. Franklin D. Watkins understood that. He used sports as a platform to try to help black kids stay out of trouble. Understood it was a rigged game, and did what he could to try to help every young black boy he could, letting that boy know, no, that is not who you are. Not the doggone stuff you're going to see on the TV, not the doggone stuff you're going to see in the newspapers, not all the negativity, or only way out is for you to go and shoot a hoop, or for you to go ahead on and run a ball. Nobody ever given you credit for having some brains in your head, just thinking you need to be docile, and you need to be strong, and you need to be fast. Go ahead on and play some ball. Make us some money.
got nothing to do with all the other qualities. And so what is it that we're bringing before you today? Men of quality, of character. Men who go ahead on and have all kinds of things that are decent. And so we're going to bring them up here, those kind of men up here, and let you stand up here and see them. So right now, here's the deal. I want all of the Watkins men, including the chapters, I want you to come up here, the new guys also, and I want you to form a line. I want the 4 guys who are my Watkins finalists to stay at one end and everybody else down at the other end. So I want you to come up and form a line. Well, at this point, come on up and do it. Form a line, all the Watkins guys. Now, notice something when you see them come up here now. Notice something now. Every last one of these men got grade point averages you could only dream about. Yeah, every last one of them. Some of the brightest men in the nation. And here's the other part of that deal, good people. These are not the only ones. In every state, in every city, in every county, in every place in this nation, you got men just like this. We just brought 4 here this year. That's all we did. We just brought 4 of them here. So don't think this is the exception. No, they're not. No, they're not. The only thing exceptional about these men are their athletic ability. Everything else has to do with what they're doing in the classroom, what they're doing in the community, and what kind of character they have. And don't tell me they're the only ones. And you need to make certain when you go back, you tell all them little black kids that you know, all those young black males, what you saw standing in front of you, from one end to the other. Franklin D. Watkins never had any idea that one day, because of what he did in the lives of some young black boys, they would go ahead on and organize a trophy in his honor. And we're having these men like this standing up here representing what he started. All he did because of his love for young black boys and recognizing the need to overcome the stereotypes that are being perpetuated by a biased press. But I'm not worrying about the biased press, because if they won't do it, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead on and remind our young black boys about who they are. We are going to go ahead on and make certain we praise the kind of character they've got. We're going to remind each other of who we are and not depend upon somebody else to do it for us. Although fairness would dictate and decency would dictate that they do it. But that's all right. You may go ahead on and try to keep us where you want us, but we're not going to stay there. The recipient, the individual who will be the standard bearer for the class of 2018, Quincy Patterson II.
Well, first, I'd just like to start by thanking everybody once again. This is a crazy honor, a tremendous honor. I definitely wasn't expecting to be standing up here at this podium. Man, I don't know. This thing gets heavy, though. It is. Man, just thank you. And, this really shows, the amount of hard work we've all put in, and that, we've beat the odds. We've raised that stereotype of, black men can't be successful in anything but just sports. We all have, crazy GPAs. We've proven that we're more than just, ball, and we won't shut up and dribble, or shut up and throw, shut up and catch. We have a voice, and we will be something. So.